I am Jenna, a Japanese girl who grew up in a solitude only I could truly understand. My mother was a successful woman, but her work always took her far away. Yet, I never felt deprived of love because I had my sister, Bella. When I was little, Bella was my protector. Every morning, she was the one to wake me up and take me to school. She wasn't just my sister, she was also my closest friend, the one person who truly understood me. But time doesn't stand still. Bella grew up and started working. The days when we would play together and share childish games became rare. I missed those afternoons when we did homework together, followed by carefree fun. I realized our time together was no longer what it used to be. Even so, Bella always made time for me on weekends. She would pick me up, and we'd have dinner together, go out, or simply sit side by side sharing stories about our lives. She would ask me about my week, and I would listen to her stories as well. We weren't little girls anymore, but the love and care between us remained unchanged. Then, one day, everything changed. A tragedy struck so suddenly that I couldn't have anticipated it. On a Friday afternoon, as I sat in my familiar room, my phone rang. It was a call from the hospital. I only caught one. Accident. My heart clenched tightly. Bella had fallen onto the train tracks at the station. Her head was severely injured, and she was in a coma. My world crumbled instantly. I couldn't believe this had happened to her. Day after day, I stayed by Bella's bedside at the hospital, holding her cold hand and clinging to hope. I brought books to read to her, talk to her, even though I knew she couldn't hear me. But I couldn't give up. I believed she could still feel my presence. Each passing day, I didn't know what else to do but sit by her side. I couldn't imagine a life without her. Every time I looked at her motionless face, my heart shattered. Bella, please don't leave me. I can't live without you. You're everything to me. I'll wait for you, no matter how long it takes. My life had completely changed. I continued to visit the hospital every day, sitting by Bella's bedside, hoping for a miracle. But in the midst of my worry for Bella, I discovered an unexpected connection with someone else. A young man named Peter was in the same hospital room as Bella, and every time I entered the room, I saw him lying motionless. I felt an inexplicable sense of empathy toward him. We were both lonely, both without anyone, surrounded only by the cold hospital walls. So, I began to do for Peter what I did for Bella talking. I shared stories about my sister, about what I was going through. Even though he couldn't respond, I felt like I was sharing a part of myself with him. One day, while reading to Peter, I noticed a sketchbook by his bedside. I opened it and saw detailed drawings of people at the train station, including an image of Bella. I was stunned. How could Peter have drawn my sister? Was he connected to the accident? Unable to stay idle, I decided to uncover the truth. I went to the train station where the accident had occurred and spoke to a witness. Through their account, I learned that Peter was the one who had saved Bella during the accident. But in saving her, he was struck and fell into a coma. Peter's sacrifice deeply moved me. From then on, I spent more time visiting Peter. I didn't just read to him, I talked more. One day, I met Peter's grandmother. I began talking to her, listening to her stories about Peter's childhood, his dreams, and his hopes. The more I listened, the more I understood Peter. I had fallen in love with Peter. Each day, I became more resolute. Sacrifice, love, and faith, they all showed me that my life could change, that I could be a part of Peter's story. One day, Bella woke up. Joy and hope overwhelmed me. But that joy was shadowed by lingering worry. Would Peter remember Bella, the one he saved? Would his feelings shift to her? When Peter finally regained consciousness, everything became clear. One day, while we were talking, he told me about his sketches. He hadn't just drawn Bella, He had tried to capture images of me. I was stunned. He told me that, even though I was just a girl he glimpsed at the station, I had touched his heart in that brief moment. My heart felt like it was bursting. I couldn't believe Peter's feelings for me were real. His drawings weren't merely observations, they were filled with love. One evening, under a sky filled with fireworks, Peter and I finally confessed our feelings for each other. We shared our emotions, our hopes, our fears, and ultimately, our love blossomed. Peter's love for me wasn't a replacement for Bello, it was a sincere bond. Our story wasn't an easy one, and as we stood under the dazzling fireworks, I knew this love would stay with us forever. We had traveled a long road from sacrifice to love, to discovery and deep connection.